What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff and I make an assortment of videos. Today we're going to be going over my work truck. It's a 2004 Chevy Silverado 2500. It's just a two-wheel drive truck, so it's perfect for a work truck really. So yeah, I'm just going to be going over everything about it, showing you guys everything I did to it and showing you why it's been such a good work truck. So here she is, guys, in all her glory. I got this work truck for really cheap and did a ton of work to it. The whole idea behind this thing was just to get, you know, a cheap beater truck, a 2500, one that could haul a lot of weight and everything and do everything I need to do. When I first started my brick business, I had a 1500 truck, the truck you guys saw on my channel, the black one. And on some of those jobs, that truck just wasn't enough. Even adding the heavy duty leaf springs in the back, the add-a leafs, having the 1500 just wasn't enough on some of those jobs, so I needed a 2500 to do some of the work. So that's when I found this truck. I found this truck on Facebook Marketplace. The guy was asking like 2300, I believe, and I got him down to $2,000. And this truck was in total shambles when I got it. It was basically ready for the junkyard. Even doing all the work that I did, it's still not perfect, but to me it's a really nice work truck. You know, it's gets the job done, looks halfway presentable, doesn't look like some super beater when you're showing up to the job. First, I think I'm just going to go over how I have my truck set up and how I have it all set up for work and everything. Like I said, this is the two-wheel drive truck, so I have the winch on the front here with a rough country hidden winch mount. This winch mount is actually made for 1500 trucks, but I modified it to make it work for this 2500. I have a video on that if you guys want to check that out. But this is just a Harbor Freight Badlands 9,000 pound winch, and this thing has helped me out a ton. One of my favorite tools. So sometimes with these two-wheel drive trucks you can get stuck really easily, even though it has a G80 rear locker. So just having that winch on the front gives me a lot of confidence, and just pretty much knowing that I can go anywhere and do jobs and back into places where I need to go, and I still have the winch's backup in case I ever get stuck and I just need a little bump out of there. I've used it to get me unstuck quite a few times. The one job I had to get a tree out of someone's yard, and really the only way to get down to it was back down in the yard, and it was a really wet yard. So I used the winch to just pretty much pull myself right up out of there. This truck is an 8-foot bed. I replaced this bed. I'll go over more about that later, but you can see I have these toolboxes on the side. I have a love-hate relationship with these boxes just because I love how much storage room is in them and everything, especially for these single cab trucks. But they definitely create a lot of blind spots, so it's really hard if you're trying to make a hard right turn, any type of hard turn. It's really hard to see. It's kind of why I have these tow mirrors on here, another thing I'll go over, but they help a little bit. For the work I do, I have a lot of tools. Have pretty much all my power tools in this box. Have ropes and cords in this box. And I have all my masonry tools in that box over there. For my work, you pretty much need some type of toolbox system like this. I think for my next truck, I'm gonna try something different, just because it gets annoying taking the rack and boxes off for the camper. So I pretty much always need a rack. But I'm gonna get one of the System 1 aluminum racks, and they're a lot lighter, so I'll be able to take it on and off a lot easier. I'm eventually gonna either get rid of these boxes or have a flatbed truck and have these boxes on the side, and my camper will be able to fit right between the boxes. A lot of people have flatbed trucks set up that way for campers, and I think that's the best way to do it. These boxes add a ton of storage for the camper as well. So I have it set up like that for now. These boxes are pretty much like the biggest ones that you can get, so I might even get like smaller ones one day, just because these things are so big. I think they're like 18 inches deep, 18 inches tall, something like that. They're really big, 8 foot long, but ton of room in them. Got a deal on these on Facebook Marketplace as well. Paid like 500, I think, maybe 600. So I have a bunch of boxes to organize everything in here. Little crates. Then I have a lot of my masonry tools and stuff in this front box. Just a nice way to keep everything organized. Then, like I said, have the rack on here. This is a heavy duty rack, so I can lean all my scaffolding and everything against it and put ladders up there. And you can use it to put really long things if you want to get like some 20-foot rebar or pieces of wood that are 20 feet long. You can have them up there and they can hang over the front a few feet, and it's a nice easy way to haul some long things if you really want to. This truck has been an amazing work truck for me. I've had it for about 4 years now, and it's never left me stranded. I've had to fix a ton of things on it, but it's always gotten me home. It's high mileage. I bought it with 180,000 miles on it, and now it has 205. So I've done a good bit of work with it. I don't drive it a ton just because I have my Escalade too. So what's that, like 25,000 miles in 4 years, but that's only work miles. That's not all my personal driving miles. So these old 6.0 engines, they're great engines, one of my favorite ones, maybe my favorite gas engine of all time. Keeps running, keeps trucking along, doing everything I need it to do. If you guys have been watching the channel, I use this truck to tear down this old garage and then bring in all the materials that I've had so far. This truck has literally brought in everything for this garage project back here. So far it's what, 4 cubes of block at 4,000 pounds a piece basically, so that's 20,000 pounds just in block. I think the pad, I needed like 50,000 pounds worth of materials for that. Just the footer alone was 16,000 pounds. I used another 4 yards of concrete for filling all the blocks, so another 16,000 roughly. So I've gotten basically my use out of that truck just with using it to build this garage. That's not even including all the money that I've made with it doing brickwork jobs and tree jobs and all that. So now I think I'll go over pretty much everything that I did to this truck to make it the way you see it today. So I got it for such a cheap price because it was in such bad condition. Most people probably would have just taken it to the junkyard, parted it out, scrapped it, whatever. It needed a ton of work, but I saw the potential in it, and realistically I'm glad that I did it. If I'm being 100% realistic, I wish I would have just waited and got a 4-wheel drive truck and did all the work to that truck instead of this one, because this is a really good work truck, but at the end of the day it'd just be nicer to have 4-wheel drive. Obviously I already knew that, but I just needed a 2500 work truck just to get things done, get some money moving. I couldn't really wait anymore to find the perfect truck and the perfect deal, and this one just came up. It was a great price, so I just pulled the trigger and bought it. But like I'm saying, if I was going to do all that work, if I knew how much work I actually was going to do to this truck, I would have just probably not bought it and bought a 4-wheel drive one and did all the work to that and probably just kept it, because all the work I did to this, most of it is really, really nice, but there's a few things that I just didn't really care about just because it's a 2-wheel drive work truck, and at the end of the day I really don't care about it. For $2,000 it looked like a really good deal. Even when I showed up and looked at it in person, I just didn't really look at it as well as I should have. The big selling point for me was the frame was in really good condition. First thing I did was take off the old bed. It was in terrible condition. I found this bed on Facebook. The guy was asking $900 for it. I got him down to $700. It was a perfect bed, rust-free, from North Carolina. So it was a really good deal. It just didn't have a tailgate, so I had to find another tailgate for the truck. Found someone else to sell me a tailgate. That was $100, I believe. So I got the whole bed and tailgate for like 800 bucks. The bed might have been $750, tailgate might have been $150, so might have been $900 total for the bed and tailgate. While I had the bed off, I decided I was gonna sand down the frame, get it down to bare metal, and then do a really nice job like painting it and everything and undercoating it. And you can see how it looks. This is exactly how I did it like 4 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. Wow, it's really loud. Helicopter going right over. But yeah, you can see what it looks like after 4 years, and I haven't even touched it up a single time. So it's still in really, really good shape. This frame's in pretty much perfect condition. Go under here and look. Oh, like that. All up until the cab. So I got the frame really good all the way to the cab and even under the cab a little bit. But there's some spots up there where there's a little bit of flaky stuff. You can see how dirty this thing is. That just goes to show you how I don't really care about this thing. And it's just really for making money. Next thing I had to do was these rocker panels and cab corners. They were pretty much gone. You can see a little spot where you can see now where it's starting to rust a little bit. But for how bad it was, it still looks really, really good. These rockers and cab corners were completely gone. Basically nothing left of them. You can go watch the videos. And the floor pan was bad too. So I took all this out and replaced the floor. Welded in a new floor pan. So like I'm saying, not everything is super pretty, but it all works. It all gets the job done. At the same time I was doing the floor pan, I needed a new emergency brake cable, all new emergency brake hardware, new rotors back here, new brakes and everything. I got these fenders off of a parts truck. My fenders were rotted out, so I replaced the fenders. You can see my really crappy paint job and patch job and all that, because even though these fenders were a lot nicer than the ones that were on the truck, they were green or blue, so I still had to fix a few spots and then paint it. So I know it's not super pretty, like you can see all the imperfections and everything, but it's a lot better than a rusted out fender. Grill is new, bumper's new. This piece is actually brand new. The bumper I got from You Pull You Pay. I needed new mirrors, so the regular mirrors, brand new, were like 110 or 100 or something, right around 100. And then the chrome tow mirrors are like 120, so I just decided just to get the tow mirrors. Replace this fender, painted the doors, pretty much painted the whole cab and tried to match it the same color as the bed because it's slightly different whites. And then mechanically I had to do a bunch of stuff too. Let me see my list here. There was broken ground wires that I had to replace that was on the back side of the engine, so I replaced that. I replaced the radiator, the fan clutch, front shocks, the alternator, the battery. I put in all new coolant, 2 new O2 sensors, resoldered the dash. There's a video I made, I added cruise control, replaced the dim switch, rear brake lines, rear rotor and brakes, new copper fuel lines, new driver floor, I mentioned that, new rockers inner and outer, I mentioned that, new cab corners, new fenders, new bumper. I got a new AC acculator, rear e-brake cables, e-brake pads, e-brake backing plate, replaced a couple rear studs, new oil drain pan, new water pump, new thermostat, new coolant, again, front brakes, oil pan gasket, new master brake cylinder, front driver brake line, driver wheel speed sensor, new knock sensors, new front driver caliper, front caliper flex hoses, new brake line mastered ABS, front right wheel speed sensor, transmission cable, and that's about it. So I think the final price that I have into this thing for the way it's sitting right now is between 6,000 and 7,000. So it all depends on if you want to include all the brakes, all the maintenance, and that sounds like a lot, but I did a ton of work to it. So everything I just mentioned, it's basically a brand new truck now. Not really, but You know, it still has 200,000 miles on the engine and transmission, but she drives perfect, and basically everything else is new. The only things I really haven't changed that are important are the fuel pump and the starter. But I'm just super happy with how well this thing has treated me and how well it runs and everything. I get a consistent 10 miles to a gallon out of this thing. Doesn't really matter what I'm doing or how I'm driving, it just seems to get 10 miles to a gallon. It's not fast by any means, but it has plenty of horsepower and torque to do everything that I need. The truck weighs right around 5,100 pounds, and the GVW of the truck is 9,200, so it doesn't need emissions, and it can haul in the bed, so the payload is right at basically 4,000 pounds, give or take, which is a lot for a 3/4 ton truck. There's not a lot of 3/4 ton trucks that can haul 2 ton legally. I believe this thing has 300 horsepower and like 364 torque, which is plenty to do what I do. So yeah guys, there's my work truck. Pretty much everything about her. Could always do some more things. I could get some new center caps for my wheels, or even get some new wheels, but like basically the whole point of this is it's just the work truck, and I try not to spend money on it. Pretty sure sometime here in the future I'm actually going to be selling this thing. I'm going to try to sell this and the Escalade and get something newer. I'm just kind of waiting on the perfect truck. It's been holding me back. If we open her up and look, I got a WeatherTech mat on the driver's side at least. I got this from You Pull You Pay. I got this for $2. So that was a deal. It fit my truck. It came out of like a Suburban or something, but it still fit this truck pretty much perfectly. Some other stuff I did in here, you guys saw. I made a video where I replaced the headliner, and this headliner is held up perfect because the way that I fixed it was I actually tucked it around all the edges, and now it's not gonna ever pull down again, I don't believe. And I actually like some of the wrinkles. It adds character to it. I replaced the dashboard in this thing. I found a part truck, the same part truck I got the fenders off of. I pulled pretty much all the interior pieces and replaced all them. So this thing is actually pretty clean here. It's really dirty right now, so it's not clean, but clean as in it cleans up nicely, and everything is pretty much works and all that. AC works, heat works, can't really complain. Start her up for you. My dash is just starting to go bad, so I'm gonna have to take it out and resolder it. The check engine light is still on. It says it's because of the knock sensor, even though I changed the knock sensor and tried to do everything in my power to shut it off, but it just stays on, so I don't even care anymore. I just let it stay on. But there's the miles, 205 to 92. Pretty much all the gauges work except for the transmission gauge, transmission temperature gauge. Yeah, nice cool air. Gotta love that after a hot day of work. So yeah guys, that's my work truck. Just been wanting to make this video for a while now, just going over everything I did and talk about it and show you guys how I have it set up for work and everything, just because finally I have it pretty much the way I want it. It took a ton of work to get here, but now I actually have a decent work truck. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I actually want to sell these 2 vehicles I have here soon and get something newer and start a whole new project. I have a ton of plans for my next truck. I'm gonna have it all set up for the camper and do a ton of things for it. It's gonna be basically a really cool setup. Someday soon I'm gonna be working on that. But yeah, any questions you have, leave down below. If you guys like this video, please drop a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Really helps the video reach a wider audience. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my future videos. And yeah guys, that's gonna be all. Hope you have a great day. Peace.